Hey everybody. I'm actually walking outside right now because I wanted to share something with you guys. So I'm in my backyard and I wanted to share with you guys. I've shared before, about the importance of connecting with nature and how nature can help you develop your gifts so much and help you figure out your path and help you figure out what you need to be doing in your life to remove negative energy and to embrace positive energy and to ground, and how important nature is. And so many of us neglect nature and neglect the time that we need to spend in nature. And I'm actually going to be telling you guys a story that I went through here. So what I'm actually doing right now is I'm picking up some dead tree bark that fell off my tree. But I want to talk to you guys about how important nature is to connecting with the divine and connecting with the earth and the air and fire and water, energies and elements. Because when you're doing spiritual work, you're not just doing readings and things like that or removing. You should be connecting with yourself and your higher self every single day. Connecting with your higher self to make sure that you're on your right path, that you are experiencing the most out of this life that you possibly can, okay? I want to tell you a story, and I want to inspire you to go outside and to talk to nature, because nature has a life, and the nature, the trees, the grass, the water, the sand, everything has a story to tell. And my point with this is, for example, this tree here that I'm standing next to, this is my friend here. His name is Bethamel. This tree was dead when I moved here, okay? This tree was dead when I moved here about a year ago. And when I moved here about a year ago, this tree was was dead, was losing limbs, did not have one green leaf on it. Very few green leaves on it, because it had gone through some serious issues, okay? This tree did not have life when I moved here about a year ago. And something inspired me to go up to it one day and put my hand on it and speak to the tree. And I did. I listened to my intuition and I spoke to the tree, and I heard the tree's voice. I heard it in my heart, okay? If you learn to listen, you will be able to hear with your heart instead of your head. You're able to hear with your heart. And that is the sign that you are truly one with your higher self and truly one with nature, that you're able to hear with your heart. Not just trees, but you're able to hear animals. You're able to understand what water is telling you, what the birds singing are saying, okay? And you understand that there is no boundaries, and there will be no boundaries between you and nature, and there will be no boundaries between you and the language that other animals speak, okay? So here's the story of Bethamel. This tree, like I said, when I first moved here, it was dead, okay? And now look at all the leaves that it has, all the life that it has. And the reason for this is because Bethamel told me its story. So I went up to Bethamel, I put my hand on him, and I asked him why he was dying. I asked him what was going on, why had he been so sad for so long, why he looked so sad. And I may sound crazy to you, but when you are really spiritually connected, you will notice that everything has a voice, okay? Bethamel told me that it was sad because someone had hung themselves from him. Someone had taken their life on his limbs. Someone had sacrificed their life on him. And he had absorbed that shock. He had absorbed that sadness and all of that and transmuted that spirit, okay? Because a lot of the times we don't appreciate the negative energy that we give into the earth. The earth takes so much from us and transmutes it and changes it into something beautiful. And sometimes it does so by killing a little bit of itself, to sacrifice itself a little bit, to give to us, okay? And we take it for granted a lot of the times. This is not preaching that you should be, you should eat a certain way, or that you should be a tree hugger or whatever. It's about respecting the things that are around us, okay? So Bethamel told me that someone had taken their life on him. So what I did with him was that he taught me how to pray for him. And he asked me to help him heal himself, okay? So I have been doing that. And now he's growing, and he's sprouting new leaves. And my friends are always joking about how I brought him back to life. And the person who owns the house that I rent is always talking about how I brought him back to life. And he just is thriving now, and he's starting to do even better. Even though on the outside he still has some hard bark, he's thriving. So it's really important to really speak with nature, because it's not just about what it can do for us, but what we can do for it as well, because we are part of nature. Everything around us is part of us. Everything is us. Everything. If you guys ever, this is a great, someone put it in a great way. There's a documentary called the Moses Code that I watched a few years ago. And you will understand, if you understand in your soul that everything around you is part of you, then you will understand that you can, when you get to the right vibration, to the right level of healing, you can control everything that is around you from a place of love, from a place of understanding, from a place of growth, okay? From a place of abundance. So everything that is around you is a part of you. It's a part of your soul, because we are all, everything in the world is made from the same fiber, okay? So in me, I have a tree, I have a scorpion, I have a snake, I have a lion, I have everything that is in the world is a part of us. And if you learn to understand that, and you learn to speak with it, you can learn. Trees have been around much longer than humans have. So why would we not ask a tree questions that we have? Okay? Sometimes if I'm a little bit in a place where it's too noisy spiritually, I will go outside and I will speak to a tree, because the tree has an understanding that is not human. The tree has an understanding that is of another world. It is of this world and that world. It is a gateway, okay? Usually, if you're not able to leave something negative at a crossroads, it's left at the base of a tree, because the base of the tree can, like I said, can transmute energy, can change energy, can make it go from negative to positive. And like Bethamel took that energy of the person who committed suicide on him and transmuted it, and in its process gave some of its life away for it, so that that soul could be purified and move on in peace. But now I've given Bethamel some of my light, so that he can regenerate, and so that he can be healthy, and so that he can grow again, and so that he can have and I always joke around with Bethamel, because I always call him a he. But Bethamel doesn't have a sex. Bethamel doesn't have a gender. I just, he laughs, but his voice is raspy. It's earthy. It's he just tells me, well, I don't have it tells me I don't have a gender. Stop calling me he. But it's important to connect with nature, okay? And as humans, we are so intelligent that we can limit our minds. We limit our abilities. Whereas trees, they don't lie. They kind of tell you like it is. They tell you, this is it and this is not it. And because they're connected, they already know what the flow is. They already know what's up, okay? They already know what true civilization is and what it isn't, okay? So it's really important to connect with nature. to connect with your trees, to connect with your grass, to ground yourself. Because when you don't ground yourself, you can be paranoid and anxious and unsure of your path. Well, how are you going to learn your path if you never put your feet on the ground? Okay, how are you going to learn what your path is? We're always looking up to heaven to give us answers, but we never look down to earth. Earth has a lot of answers as well. Every element has answers. Fire has answers. Earth has answers. Water has answers. Air has answers. But we focus so much on the element of air and those things that we can't see, right? That's air. That's what air is, right? Incense belongs to the divine because it's the air element. And we focus so much on the air element because, oh, it's mystifying. We can't see it. We have to really define it. But we forget that we take earth for granted because earth is here and it's constant and it's stubborn and it's unmovable. But we don't take into consideration that just like how the divine who are connected to air have answers, so does the earth. The earth has dwarfs and the earth has fairies, and the earth have fairies are earth angels. Okay, they're angels that take care of plants. They're angels that care about animals, that care for animals. Water has water spirits. Water has water spirits. Water has not just water goddesses, but also water spirits, water fairies, water everything. So fire has fire spirits. Fire has fire fairies, okay? Dragonflies, and all those things have something to teach you. But when you are so focused on just the air elements, which are the divine, which is not a bad thing. It's great to be focused on the air elements, to be up here. But when you are down in the earth, there's so much you can learn too. So much you can learn from the grass. So much you can learn from the dirt. So much you can learn from the water streams. So much you can learn from the fire. Okay, fire is not meant to be a scary thing. It's meant to be something. It's something precious. Okay, it's something so precious and magical. We take it for granted because now we have it. Okay, imagine not knowing how to make fire. Imagine if you didn't have access to a match or a lighter, okay, or a way to strike a fire. It would be mystifying for you. It would be, but because those are elements that somehow you can see, we take them for granted. We can't see air, but yet we know it's real. And we know that the air beings are real. But sometimes we even take our breath for granted. We take the fact that we can breathe oxygen for granted. The fact that we can exchange with a tree oxygen for CO2 for oxygen, and we take that for granted. And then we wonder why we are not elevating and why we have to have specific beings come to us from other planets or from other realms to help us elevate as a species. Because as humans, we take for granted the things that have been gifted to us to reach more understanding and compassion. So now, light workers have to get reincarnated to help elevate the species. People who have already gone through things in other past lives that have gotten them there to a level of, okay, now you just have to be a light worker and bring other people up with you, and then you can move on and ascend. Okay, so there's a lot of things that light workers get to, in my tradition, we believe that light workers are people that already reached a certain level of purity in their soul and now reincarnated to help other people ascend. Okay, and this is something that now is being embraced as well in other traditions and in the New Age era. But so we gotta help each other out. We have to help each other out by trying to elevate the vibration of the planet, the vibration of our planet, and the vibration of the human species. There are other species that are much more evolved than we are. But we don't realize it because we're so caught up in our own little lives, in our own issues, in our own things that we want to focus on. Like, yes, those things are important. Our families are important. Our spiritual connections are important. Our money is important to a degree. Everything is important, but some things are more important than others. And if we really want to get a full understanding of spirituality, if I can give you any advice as a spiritual teacher, is get yourself right with nature. Get yourself right with not just the beings of air. Yes, continue honoring the beings of air, but start honoring the beings of water. Start honoring the beings of fire. Start honoring the beings of earth, okay? There's a lot for them to teach you. If you just ask. This tree was sitting here for decades. No one ever thought to go up to it and ask, hey, why are you dying? No matter what fertilizer they've put in him, no matter what thing they put on this tree, nothing was making it grow until I put my hand on it. And I didn't cure the tree. I simply asked the tree why it was dying. That's all I did. That's all I asked. I asked why it was dying. And all of a sudden, him and I are having conversations, or it and I are having conversations, and and he is sprouting. He, whatever you want to call him, is sprouting leaves. Okay? So when it didn't sprout leaves for a very long time, it was just dying bark for a long time. And there is still bark that it's shedding, but it's shedding bark that is no longer good for it, that it's hollow. You can actually feel how hollow that bark is. If you learn to, Reiki is an amazing form. Reiki has different names in different parts of the world, okay? In my tradition, it's just energy identification. But in Reiki and other energy work, you can sense the energy of something. You can sense when something is dead. You can sense when something has life. When something is dead, it feels hollow. It feels like like nothing is there, okay? So it's just a feeling. It's a feeling that you get, a certain vibration that you get. So it's really important to respect and to take advantage of the teachings that Earth has to give you. I hope this is making sense to you all. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life or what to do, but I do think that you could really benefit if you start to pay attention to all the elements. You could really benefit and help your life, help other lives, and just help each other as a whole, as a collective. So I hope you enjoyed this live. Many blessings. And I will repost it on my YouTube as well. So if you want to watch it again. Bye-bye.